Darlene went out. Hello. Welcome to Tona's Table. Today is going to be a great day. Repeat that after me. Today is going to be a great day. I am your host, Tona Buck, and listen to when I say tonight is one of my
I
most
can't hear nothing.
powerful. Can she hear me? Well, tonight is one of my most powerful shows I've ever done in my whole entire life. And I mean that with everything. Give me a second. I'm trying to see why we're not showing up on my page. Are y'all showing up on your page? Give me a second. You know, I always have technical just a. And we are ready to go. So again, I'm so psyched up. I am so happy for tonight. Y'all don't understand. Woo! Musa Tona, Musa. If y'all have been following me, this is how I introduce myself. Hello, my name is Tona Buck. I'm a sexual abuse survivor and an advocate. For those who may not know, April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. I knew with every being in my body, that I needed these warriors to come and to be a part of tonight's show. We're going to start off with Tona's update. You know, it's Tona's table, and we're going to move so quickly from Tona's update to what this second part of the show is called the Warriors Table. Let me repeat that again. We're going to move on to the Warriors Table because these women are nothing short for warriors, and you'll understand why as soon as I finish Tona's update, because they're going to all introduce themselves and tell you about what they do. And I am truly blessed and honored and excited to have each one of them on my show. So, Tona's update. The countdown is on. The countdown is on, people. Rosa, my organization, and I'm excited because I got my co-founder here too, and I got some warriors on here. That's a part of Rosa, Rising Up Sexual Abuse. This is our 5th annual Sexual Assault Awareness Month walk. Oh, you know these lights are killing me trying to look at here, and it's worldwide, people. Yes,
Yes, right?
Yes, I'm so excited. We went from Trenton, sexual assault walk. We moved to New Jersey, sexual assault walk, and then we was in 4 states. And then COVID came and shut us down, but it did not stop us because we came back to doing our first worldwide walk last year, and this year we're doing another virtual worldwide walk. Tona, what does that look like? I get this question, and that was a question I would have asked myself. You register at tonabuck.com. You register at Eventbrite. You can register on rosawarriors.org. If you need any of that information, again, 609-331-9931. You can register, again, tonabuck.com, rosawarriors.org, or at Eventbrite. You register. You get a link. 8 o'clock. Well, technically from 12 a.m. to 11 p.m. on April the 9th, it records. So anywhere around the world, you have your phone or you have whatever device you want to use, and you walk and it records us all over the world walking together to say enough. That we no longer stand for sexual abuse, and we are uniting together to fight against sexual abuse, but also to break the silence against sexual abuse. So I am super psyched up. The walk again, it is April, this Saturday, April the 9th at 8 o'clock if you live local, because it is in person. Catwater Park, Trenton, New Jersey. We will be there at 8 o'clock in the morning, joining together in unity, physically, finally, like really physically. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited. There's so much power in numbers. So I'm psyched up. So that is the first thing on Tona's table. April the 9th, this Saturday, 8 o'clock, or anywhere in the world. Listen, I'm so excited up. We got a whole team from Cali. A warriors walking. We have so I don't want to miss anyone. So we know we have Brazil, we have Colombia, we have I can't think of the other countries. It's about 5 countries that I know of. And then we have we know for sure that we know for sure. We have obviously New Jersey, Connecticut, North Carolina, South Carolina, Atlanta. Now we have Cali. We have come on, New Orleans. So like
Jamaica.
Jamaica. So we just have listen, we're going my vision for April the 2nd every year is to not say a worldwide walk. We're going worldwide in unity to advocate and fight against sexual abuse, especially for brown and black and white people. It's bad for anyone in the world, but because what stays in the house, what's done in the house stays in the house with us. We're going to fight that much harder to make sure that part of our lives and that part of our history is shut down. Walk April the 9th. If you have not registered, please register. On April the 9th at 12 o'clock to 4 o'clock. Beauty for Ashes. We will be speaking. I have a couple of people in here that will be speaking with me, telling their stories. I'm excited.
Yes.
Bridging the Gap Inc.org. It's too late. So listen, sorry. I'm just telling you that we speak because they done sold out of tickets. These women ain't no joke. They hustle. So I give a shout out to all of them who are working hard. But we'll be on the panel telling our story on Saturday, April the 9th at 12 o'clock. Celebration of Women. Skip Belly Production. If you do not know him, if you have not seen one of his fashion shows, you have missed an amazing event. So I'm psyched up that he is having one on May the 28th, and a couple women on here are being honored. And I'm one of the women are being that's been honored, and I'm very humbled. It's at the Trenton War Memorial Building. It's May the 28th at 7 o'clock p.m. You can get tickets from skipbelly.com. We already did Yolanda. It was an amazing show. Thank you, Yolanda. Landy Robinson, she had a show on the 23rd. So why is April so amazing to me? Why is April such a great, phenomenal, awesome month for me? For two reasons. One, my birthday is April the 20th. So I celebrate the whole month. So please do not be like, oh, I couldn't take you out to dinner, or I couldn't take you out to lunch, or I didn't see you to get you a gift. No. I celebrate the whole month. Or I can take these off now. I celebrate the whole month. So I don't want you to have to miss blessing me on my birthday. Who am I to do that, right? And so the second reason why I love April so much is so much greater than my birthday. I never in my life thought that there would be something in this world more important in the month of April than me celebrating my birthday, until I found out that April was Sexual Assault Awareness Month. So the first, even though I celebrate, I really don't technically start celebrating until after the walk, but I do something technically I do Sexual Assault Awareness Month, 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. But with that said, I really make sure we do things in the month of April, especially coming together as brown and black people. So these are the things I'm asking you to do. If you see my nails, I don't know how to see. So turquoise is the color of Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Normally, I start the campaign the first week of April. I wear my nails turquoise the whole month of April, right? That's something that I do to acknowledge being a warrior. So I asked women all over the world. We're not going to do it right now because I want to do something every week so that we can keep celebrating. And I'm gonna say celebrating us breaking the silence against sexual abuse. So I celebrate that. Obviously, I don't celebrate the horror that we all experience, but what I am blessed about is that these warriors are doing things to break the silence so it won't continue to happen. And for those who were victimized, know that they're not by themselves, and we are going to be a voice for you until you're ready to speak out for yourself. So we celebrate in April because we're making moves and to make the world change so that we can acknowledge and fight against sexual abuse. So Sunday, April the 10th, because the walk is on Saturday, Sunday, April the 10th, for that week, I'm going to ask every woman around the world if they can just paint their nails turquoise. And again, men are sexual abuse just like we are. Mm-hmm. And I got something for that. I don't know if you can see it. I never can see what you can see on these things. So I also wear ribbons. I wear a ribbon. At the walk, the first two walks, we made ribbons, and Teska, I did find some ribbons, so I make them. So if you come to if you come to the walk locally, or if you listen, I mail stuff. I just mail t-shirts all over I just mail some t-shirts. Trust me. I will mail you a ribbon, or you can make a turquoise ribbon. So the turquoise ribbon are for those who say, I support you. I support the movement of enough. Mine's, if you notice, mine's is black and turquoise. Those are for survivors, warriors. So I wear that the whole month too. Because I like for people to ask questions. I like people to ask questions. Like, why are you wearing that? Then I can say, because it's Sexual Assault Awareness Month of walk. And just like even with the walk on Saturday, many people were not able to get the t-shirts in time. I went in storage. I got about 20 or 30 t-shirts. I don't care if they're the old ones, because they'll have no year on them. So we're going to be representing all 5 years of t-shirts at that walk and all over the world. I don't care. It's going to say, Rosa, breaking the silence against sexual abuse. That's all I need. And the t-shirts are important for me too, because it brings up conversations that we normally wouldn't have. So that is what's going on in Tona's table. One more important detail. Like I said, I celebrate the whole month, and I'm just putting it out there. I'll talk about it more Wednesday, but I'm putting it out there next Wednesday, because I'm not doing anything technically, but trying to focus on this walk. And then after that, I can do the other 100 projects I'm doing. But I do want to put it out there just for those who are listening. Last year, for my birthday, as I told you, I celebrate the whole month. The last weekend of my birthday, I did a community feed. If those who have been following me, I thought God hated me for a minute, because he put me in this neighborhood that it was out of sight, out of mind. And I don't want to be ignorant and say, I didn't know homelessness and prostitutes and all this stuff was real. It's real, but there's a difference when you have to see it, because when you see it, it's not out of sight, out of mind anymore. And it makes you, but I don't know about it makes other people, it made me want to do something instantly. So when I moved around here the first year, many of the women on here, they can tell you we raised, we had 101 blankets donated in 3 weeks to give to the homeless. And then I do community feeds. And so this is nothing changed. So April the 30th, I'm going to do a community feed. Last year, we fed 100 people in 2 hours. So this year, yes, we just talk about in my neighborhood. We ain't even talking about going nowhere else. We talking about in my neighborhood. And God ain't not going to move me to my assignment. It's finished here. So if nothing else, I have peace now. And so April the 30th, we are going to do another feed. And the last time I did it and I posted, and I tell people I don't post to brag. I post because I'm hoping that when somebody else's birthday come around, they'll do it too, because people need to eat more than just Thanksgiving and Christmas. They need to eat more than Thanksgiving and Christmas. So that's my hope. By when I show feeding people like throughout the year, that somebody could say, if I got $100, I can buy a couple packs of hot dogs and some bread and some, and I could just do something little. It don't have to be massive to help people in need. April the 30th, I am doing a cereal drive. I'm living around here. I kept seeing people like going to their bags, and they would take out like a bag of cereal, and I was like, that makes sense, because I don't know if I don't have a home that turkeys and canned food and raw potatoes is really going to help them at that time. I'm just saying it may help other people in need, but the people in my community, a lot of them, they're really homeless. And so I want to collect cereal boxes and oranges and bananas, because me and Teska was talking earlier. If they have $1 or 50 cents that that somebody may have given them, the last thing they're going to do is eat something healthy. So that is going to be the end of my birthday month on April the 30th. If you would like to volunteer, if you would like to donate, you can inbox me. All my social media is Tona Buck. And all of it is public, so you can reach out to me. If you want to serve on that day, by all means necessary, you can definitely serve, because if we get, as I see, more than enough, We could go to different different areas in Trenton, because one year we gave out and I always go to Teska and Vini because they've been rolling with me for so long. We gave like 243, I think, gift bags of love. Like, we did that in a month. So there are people out there with the heart that want to serve and want to give. And I don't ever want to be the person that do things on my own and help miss the opportunity to be a blessing to other people. Because people want to bless people, they just don't know how to bless people. So if this touches your heart, please join me on April the 30th, the last day of the greatest month in the whole entire year, to celebrate my birthday by helping others. I'm going to shut up and let these warriors introduce themselves to you again. I always say this. As I gotten older, I realized my purpose, right? My purpose is to serve. I've been doing it all my life. But my platform is for no mores. That's my platform. Wherever I go, I tie it in. I never miss an opportunity to share my story. And I can tell you this, and I've done many things. Trent's first HIV walk, Trent's first cancer walk. We've fed thousands and thousands of people. Listen, this is nothing new to me. But this platform right here is hard. It's difficult. Every woman that's on here are true warriors. To be able to take the time to share their horror, their pain, but their survival and how they bounced back and came back and took their lives back. Because for those who may not know what it's like to be victimized and sexual victimized, and it's a trauma that only a sexual victimized person would know. Like, people try to compare us to other traumas, and I'm not saying our trauma is worse than your traumas. I'm just saying it's a different type of trauma when somebody breaks you sexually, when somebody does something sexually to you. It's a I hate to use the word, it's a bitterness, because I don't like using the word broken. It's it makes you feel ugly and unworthy, and you feel like you're by yourself, and you question yourself all the time. I say this, the closest thing that I can say for me in my experience anyway, and I said this at one of the things I talked at. I said, when they touch you, it's like they put your soul on a respirator, and you're trying to live, and you're trying to get your life back. But the one thing I learned about a respirator, it does many functions, but the two that stuck out to me, one of the things that a respirator does, it gives your body time to heal. Because if something is going wrong in your body and it's really traumatic and it's really, really bad, they put you on a respirator. And a lot of times when they take you off the respirator, that's when you figure out if you can breathe on your own. And all these warriors are breathing on their own. They've been on a respirator up and down. And trauma is something that you live with for the rest of your life. I remember I would hear people say dumb things to me like, when you get over it, I wish you'd get over it. I said, you don't get over trauma. Are you stupid? What you learn to do is put coping mechanisms in place. So when it comes, that's what's called trauma. I mean, I don't, but again, that comes from people who are unknowledgeable. I've had to learn a lot about this platform because, it's like I said, it's difficult, but also being patient with those who who's never experienced it, and they may think they don't know anyone. But we've been on here for I don't even know how long, but what I can tell you, every 9 minutes a child is being victimized, right? And those are reported children, right? They're not even talking about us because we didn't even tell. We're not reported the statistic. So I'm just going to say, people are being victimized as we're talking. A lot of people are living in silence because of the shame. And if you are one of those people, you have nothing to be ashamed of. You did nothing wrong. Please. One of the hardest things for me was to take my life back second by second, minute by minute, day by day, because I refuse to let anyone from my past have control over my future. And it's in you too. So every warrior on here, they want to introduce themselves. Let's just go through the panel, just introduce ourselves, and then we'll go back around, and then you can tell our story. Why, really fast? Why are we telling our stories? Because we need you to know. We need to make this personable. I think, like I said, a lot of things in life is out of sight, out of mind. If it's somebody that I don't know, if it's not affecting me, or it's not important, but this is important. We have women and men are getting raped every day. We have 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds who are being raped by grown people every day. So this is real, and we need you to understand this is real, and not just to hear our stories, but to understand that we need your help to make sure we shut this mess down. there's a reason why I call us warriors, and there's a lion that Rosa used. When you are in the kingdom, and you know, I do research. I speak, so everything that comes out of my mouth, I need to make sure I do research. When a lion roar, then he shut down miles just by one roar. What impact do you think we get ready to make tonight? Girl, when you got 8 warriors warring together, when Saturday we have thousands of warriors warring together, and as we war, more people war with us, the more we can shut this mess down. That's the thing. That's the bottom line. We don't want nobody to have our stories at all. And we don't want you to live in silence thinking you did something wrong because you didn't. We're going to war together, and we're going to war together, and we're going to war together until we shut this mess down. And we doing it from Black and brown people. We tired. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. So with this one, you know I get in my place. You know, bring it back. We're going to start with Moniquea, and we're going to go down. Please introduce. Oh, girl. I forget this queen. Neisha, I'm so sorry. What's up, baby? She's going to introduce herself. Listen, girl, that's another lion. Girl, if I had 2 legs, I would be up jumping right now and got 1.5. You don't understand. I don't know if y'all get it, but right now we making history because this stuff has never been done. When we did the first documentary, Why We Didn't Tell, with Black and brown women and men sharing their stories, it had never been done in history because brown and Black people don't tell their stories. And now we're making history doing all these Black and brown women sharing their stories about being sexually abused and our survival. Please, Moniquea, introduce yourself because I'll go one for one because I'm about to run and jump up and down around here. Because I don't know if y'all hear the wars, but I hear the war.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Good evening, queens. Good evening. My name is Moniquea Clark, affectionately known as Coach Mo in my community of Trenton, and I am super excited to be on this with you guys tonight. Listen, Tona got us psyched up. I'm ready to go.
We ready. Go ahead, Aisya. Introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Aisya Carroll. I am from New Jersey. I am here and super excited to share my story to help someone who may feel alone. We are survivors not by chance. We're survivors because we fought to survive. Let's get started, y'all.
Yes, go ahead. Next. Miss Armstrong.
Hey everyone, I am LaTashia Armstrong, affectionately known as Coach Tosh, the Freedom Coach. I break women free from trauma so they can demolish their mindsets and break free into the healthiest mindset that God ever purposed them for.
Awesome. Go, Miss Gab.
Oh, it's me? Oh.
Yeah,
hey, y'all. My name is Gabby. Me?
Yes.
Oh, it was breaking up. Sorry. Hi, y'all. My name is Gabby. I am from Trenton, New Jersey. Probably the youngest one on here, but I am excited to be on here to be a voice for my generation as well. And for all of the women and men that has experienced this. So we about to roar for real.
Yes, let's.
Yeah.
Miss Darlene.
Hi, ladies. Good evening, queens. It is truly a blessing and an honor to be on this stage with you women. I am a survivor of many abuses. Sexual abuse drove me through all the abuses that there are. And today I will no longer consider myself a victim. I will no longer be victimized. I'm putting the finishing touches up on my book.
Yes.
I have an event coming up. You said this Saturday, Tona?
Yep, 8 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, well, I'm going to have to reroute this documentary then because I was asked to do another documentary. It's just been an amazing run. And I'm just here to say that, you know what? We are not alone anymore. You are not alone anymore. And we do survive. We get to the point of where we just want to roar.
Yeah, man.
We just want to roar.
Got Miss Kelly. You're on mute, baby. You're on mute.
Thank you. Thank you. My name is Neisha, and I'm a survivor. You know, for a long time I had victim mindset, but then something about turning 40, I was like, you know what? I'm tired of being somebody victim. And then, you know, because like Miss Tonya said, you don't know that who else is dealing with what you might have went through. So my thing is just to try to keep my head up and help someone else.
Miss, let's, I don't know, somebody bounced that. Let's do Teska then.
So good evening, everyone, and thanks, Tona, for setting up this amazing platform. I'm excited to be here to roar with these amazing, beautiful brown and black women. I would like to tell people also that we did not start after the Me Too movement. We started the year before. So, folks, I just want the record to be set right. We are not followers. We are leaders. And I have gone from victim to victor. And that's exactly who I am. I am a victor, and I'm walking in my purpose. I am a recent author. I'm running for city council here in this awesome city of Trenton, this capital city of Trenton. And I'm excited about what God has for me and for those who are getting their voices back. So I am over the hill. I'm trying to contain myself, not give Tona back that energy because I know she's going to leap. But I am grateful for the platform, and it is so nice to be here with you amazing, amazing, victorious women.
Miss, not last but not least, my love, Miss Coleman, Stansbury, you know.
That's okay. You know what? This has been trying. So I realized that because so many obstacles kept coming in my way with sound, that this was meant to be. That sound was trying to get me, but I thank God for you helping me to speak and roar. And then when I saw my sweetheart Nye on here, I'm like, yes, this is what this is about. Absolutely. So I'm smiling, Tona, and grateful to be a part of strong women and men that are roaring against sexual assault. I'm really proud of this. Yes.
So I have to be honest. I had a vision of doing like speaking in front of people when I was a kid, and I thought it was going to be something cute. Like I never thought about this being a platform. People would say things to me like, why didn't you say anything? Because it's embarrassing, and who wants to tell you the worst things that could have ever happened to you? I'm like, what world do you live in? So I want to say this, two things, and I want the women to tell you about 5 minutes of their stories, right? And I'll go last because you can find my story on that second. I'm an author as well of 3 books. Let me just say one thing: how honored and blessed and overjoyed I am because of the donations of so many of you and so many people who are listening to me now, that we've been able to give out 1,000 of my children, 1,000 of free books to children. My book is called Stop Safe Touches Only, Please. It teaches children about their body parts and good and bad touches. I remember my mama said to me when I told her, I wish you would have told me. And I was like, tell you what, why would I have known what to tell you? Why was it being done to me to tell you something? Why didn't I know my parts of my bodies? And maybe I could have. You know, they did the best they knew how, but we're going to do better. So I want to publicly thank everyone who donated a book, my Stop book, to get in the hand of a child. My story is out there on that second. I will go last. I will let. Do y'all want me to go last or first? To get it over. Which one y'all want me to? Because go last. Okay. So I'm gonna go last, and I'm gonna say this: many of the women are not going to get into total detail, and we may have another, platform later more time. But the thing is, if you want to see some of these women, they are on a documentary. The documentary that I did many years ago that changed me from being a survivor to an advocate. They changed my world so much. Those women and men, it made me become a true warrior. And I have not stopped eating, sleeping, or thinking of how to break the silence of sexual abuse after that documentary at all. Like, they changed my whole life. This is why I can introduce myself. Hello, my name is Tona Buck. I'm a sexual abuse survivor. It was because of them and their strength and their power. So they're just going to tell you a little bit. It's on YouTube again. Why we didn't tell part one. And some of these women now are going, and hopefully some of the new women that's joining us will also be a part of the new documentary, Enough. Breaking the silence against sexual abuse. I want to give a shout out to Carl Maxwell and Anna Brown and the Villanova college team. They think that this is what people don't understand. Everything is right on time. Because a lot of times people think if it doesn't happen in that season, this wasn't meant to happen. See, I lived too long, have done too many things in my life to know that delay does not mean denied. It does not mean it's not going to happen. And so we wanted that documentary done by February. But Caleb, who is an award documentary, I make up words, is traveling the world working on other documentaries. So because mine was a love project, he couldn't focus on his energy. But everything's about time. I didn't even get upset because not for nothing, I really wouldn't have been able to focus. And what God was doing is waiting for some other people to war with me. I'm gonna say that one more time. When you got a vision or dream, don't get frustrated because it's not happening when you think it's supposed to happen. Right? It's everything is getting in line. He's opened up all the right doors. He's closing. God is, and I don't know who y'all believe in. I believe in God. He's closing the other doors so that when it's time, you're ready to sit right at that table. Everything can fall right into place. So don't stop getting discouraged and stop giving up on your dreams and your hopes because it's not happening when you want it to happen. Girl, I got something on mirror and I'm going to shut up after this. It said, if God said he going to do it. Go ahead, Moniquea. Please tell your story. If God said it, he going to do it. That's all I need you somebody to do.
Right? If he said he going to do it, he going to do it. So my story starts when I was 5 years old. You know, I didn't know my body parts. I didn't know right from wrong. I wasn't taught those things. All I know is that I was left in the care of a teenage male who sexually assaulted me on the bathroom floor in my family home and left me there to clean up after myself. And did I tell? I didn't know what to tell because I didn't know what was going on. It happened more than once. It happened more than twice. And when I finally did tell, I had the same question. Why didn't you tell me? Well, I was told if I was to have told by my person that assaulted me is that I was going to get a spanking because I wasn't following directions. So not only do parents say, you better listen, when I get back, I'm going to whoop you behind. Now you have someone saying, I'm going to touch you and I'm going to do these things to you. And if you tell, you still going to get a whooping. So I carried out all that trauma throughout all my life. Took a lot of wrong roads because of the hurt and pain and the disgust within myself that I carried throughout, everything that I went through. And it wasn't until the past 10 years that I actually began to heal. Not only did I have to heal from being a sexual abuse survivor, right? I also had to heal with the loss of my daughter passing and the birth of my grandson. So I've been on a roller coaster ride of healing, but I'm ever so grateful that I can stand here today and say I'm 2 years sober and I am ready to roar and shut it all down. Shut it all down. No more hiding it, no more lying, no more denying. Even when I'm in the public school system talking with the kids doing mindfulness and movement, I give them a little thing. Just let me know when I'm talking. If any of this resonates with you, just give me this. I've had so many Me Too's in the school. Yes, still to this day.
And they're not talking about it.
So that's all I'm going to share because they're going to see the documentary. And we all going to keep roaring because it's
Thank you, Coach Mo.
Tona, I can go next because me and this sound, I don't want it to go out.
Okay.
But for a long time, I thought I was the reason why.
It's messing up.
Yeah.
Tona, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Go ahead. You're
Okay,
scoring in
I
and out.
can't hear me. So I'm just going to keep talking because you
Okay.
said you can hear me.
Yeah.
Okay. For a long time, I thought it was my fault. I thought that this person was touching me because I must be doing something wrong. I'm a kid, you know. I'm not. I wasn't even 11, but I had to be doing something for this grown man to think that I'm desirable, to think that they should be able to touch me. And so I was quiet. And I was also quiet because I didn't think that I would be believed. I remember my mother asking me one time, "Are you being touched?" And I said, "And if I say yes," her answer was, "It depends on who it is." And then I had to endure my grandmother, who was the one person I felt loved me unconditional because no one else did, say, "If you're being touched, then I'm going to kill him." So all I thought was, she's going to go to jail. And then I'm going to be stuck with people who don't love me and don't believe me. And so I stayed quiet for a long time until I was talking with Tona, and she was like just encouraging me that it was okay and that I wasn't the blame. And that was why I didn't tell. I thought, one, I was to blame, and two, my family member would go to jail, and then I'm stuck by myself. So I do encourage any woman, any young ladies, young men, and family members, be careful in what you say to that victim, because when you tell them stuff like, "I'm going to go to jail," they don't want to see you in jail. So therefore, they're going to shut up. Or if you say things like, "It depends on who it is." No, it doesn't depend on who it is. The point is, this has happened to me. And I really just want to encourage people to be careful on what you say and how you re-victimize the victim, because you make that victim feel like they're already bad at what they're doing. They're not happy, they're hurting, and you make them feel worse by making them feel like this could technically be your fault. And that's why I didn't tell. I thought maybe my breast was developed early, so maybe my shirts were too tight. So I started wearing baggy clothes. And it didn't work. It didn't work because the baggier they were, the more that person did it. And it was hurtful. So I just tell you guys, please be careful when someone says it. Don't re-victimize them by making them feel like it's their fault. Tona, I'm going to come out again and try to come back on,
Okay.
but the
Thank you for
sound
sharing.
is just, I can't hear
You sound perfect
anything.
right now, Beanie. You
Yeah.
sound perfect. Thank you for sharing, my love. Next, next. Because so Miss Armstrong is going to go next to mine because she has a
Okay.
different experience, and and I'm going to bring hers in. Miss,
Cool.
who I need to call? Um, Go ahead, Miss Kelly.
Okay, my name is Neisha, and I was sexually abused twice in my life, but one for many, many years, and one was an isolated incident. And for me being abused, I was a very obedient child. So if you told me to do something, I'm doing it. You're grown up, I got to listen to you. And I thought when it was happening, I knew it was wrong, but I didn't tell because I didn't want my family to get broken apart. I was trying to protect my mom, like that kind of thing. And it wasn't until I had my daughter that I even told her what happened, and everybody wasn't so. You would think you went through this, that, and you tell your mom and other people, and no. But I think now looking back, I think because they went through it, sometimes they didn't know how to react. when it happened to me, because it was somebody we knew. It was a friend of the family, and it was like I trusted this person around my child. So I don't know all what she went through in her head, but that I thought by not telling her I was protecting the family, but killing myself basically. So for me, I didn't really start addressing what happened until I got triggered in a session, a group session, and the girl was saying how you can be sexually abused and it can feel good. And you get confused because you know it's bad, but it feels good. And my abuser would always say to me, it's about him and not me. So I grew up, when I finally did become, intimate with a man, I always thought, it's all about him. It doesn't matter anything about me. I'm not supposed to get any enjoyment out of this. It's all about him and us all. And honestly, it wasn't until I turned 40, I'm 42 now, that I said to myself, I can't keep living my life like that. Mm. If I'm going to be doing this, I got to have some, not to be fresh, but I got to have some enjoyment out of this. Otherwise, and I was like, it's time for me to heal, because it plays on my psyche so bad that I could be with someone that loves me and care about me, and I still look at him like, oh, he just want that, so it's all about him, and I kept doing that for years, and I was like, I got to stop. And Miss Tona, you are such an inspiration. Like, I remember you as our drill team coach, but you're so much more than that.
Thank you.
And you really are a testament to surviving. You really are, because you're unapologetic about it. Yes, I went through it, but I'm through it. And I want to help you through it. When you took us on a documentary and you went to your place that brought a lot of emotion for you, I broke down. Like you, and when you walked coming back, I was like, that might as well be Naomi Campbell, because the way, it wasn't even about the way you walked. It was that you was walking through what happened to you. And that gave me freedom to walk through what happened to me. I just want to say thank you.
Amen. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. Darlene can talk. Let's go, Gabby. Darlene is talking like me.
Hi. Good evening, ladies, again. Can you hear me?
Oh, I said you're going to do her later. Go ahead, Darlene.
I knew you was going to do me last. I knew you was. Good evening, ladies. Good evening, queens. Listen, my story is no different than yours. It may have some more critical turns than yours have, but it's no different than yours, because we're all survivors. My story goes like this. I was born into the family of abuse. I can go back to infant, toddler rape and molestation, being used and abused verbally, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and sexually, bankrupt as a little girl. No one to care about me, no one to love me. You know what I'm saying? Feeling for myself. I was abused to the point of being nonverbal, okay? Animalistic level, trying to find me some food, trying to get away from the molesters, the rapists, if you will, people that were putting themselves upon me because nobody else loved me, because that is what happens in a family of abuse. We're only as sick as our secrets. So some people made me sick. So as life went on for me, as the people that were supposed to take care of me, to guide me, to shape and mold me into a productive member of society, taught me how to hate myself, how to self-destruct. And as people, we are not meant to self-destruct. Okay? They taught me how to be ashamed of me, to feel guilty about being me. You know what I'm saying? And you talked about, Aisya, I had been put in a place of acceptance. A little girl with no one to care about me. Cries went on deaf ear. As adults and everybody walked around like it was natural. It was the thing to do. Some sick people made me sick, right? And I talk about that. That's in my book. You know what I'm saying? How some sick people that were supposed to take care of me, nurture me, left me out alone and cold in a dark place and time where I should have been at that time in my life. It was a critical time to shape or mold me into a productive member of society. And it broke me down. It sent me in a spiraling downward twist. Okay. At the rate of maybe 5 or 6, I probably got helped. God came my way, so to speak, because I tell you, I was spiritually bankrupt from everything. I'm a little girl. My whole soul, my life was snatched from me. All right. And so I went to family members. And the family members, they really didn't care either, because their thing was, oh my gosh, she's promiscuous. She's touching. She wants to be touched. Okay. And instead of them stop being as sick as their secrets, I kept being passed around. I'm the bad child. Oh, she bad. No, look at her. She always touching somebody and everybody touching her. These are the things that when I was left alone is what I learned to do. Because if I did that, maybe you would stop, or you would tell me again, I'm gonna stop this time. I ain't gonna make it worse this time. But if you lay there and be a little bit more quiet, I'd do it easier. It never got easy. It never got easy. It was hard every time. Being a little girl used as an adult, and it made for a bad recipe for me in life. See, because when I started having kids, I wanted my kids. I knew I wanted to love my kids, but I got scared and I didn't know how to be a mother and I didn't know how to take care of no kids. And so the last spiral and that downward spin led me to drugs, looking for something to anesthetize the pain, right? And may I be coming up on 10 years, but I'm not a first time winner, right? But I decided to stick and stay this time. I decided to make me worth it. Okay, I decided to say, you know what, Tona, me and Tona neighbors. We grew up. I didn't know her, so she was down the street from each other.
Yeah.
I lived a horrific life as a girl. I've been raped numerous amounts of times. And instead of saying no, because I don't know what the no touch don't mean, okay, go ahead and do this to me. I won't tell and you'll stop. They had made me sick. I didn't know how, I left to my own devices, and for years I was ashamed and I felt guilty of trying to go get some help. Know why? Because then you'll know who I actually was and you might hurt me too. I'm talking about genuine help. You might hurt me too. And it's until 10 years ago that I decided when a zero, beaten and ripped, tattered, and torn from yesteryear's abuse to the years of abuse that I put on myself with the drugs. That was it for me. I needed my kids. My kids needed me. But most of all, I needed me. And if I didn't get right for me, how could I be better for them? How can I show them that there's a better way? Mommy had to get better first. And when Tona came along and, me open-minded and willing and doing the documentaries and speaking and, going on, because see, I'm like Tona, I'm getting ready to do like Tona now. I'm about to roar. I'm letting somebody else go. Yes. But, we do survive. We do. We get better and we roar.
Yes. Thank you, Darlene. Thank you for sharing.
You're so welcome. You're welcome, Queen.
Aisya.
Hello, everyone. My name is Aisya Carroll. I was born as a result of sexual assault. My mother was assaulted and she decided to keep me. And I did not realize that sexual assault ran into my childhood as well as to my adulthood. And I'm getting a little emotional. I'm sorry. It takes a toll on you. And I don't talk about this publicly. This is my first time publicly speaking about it.
Oh, we getting free tonight, girl. Let's go.
Yes.
Um,
Now.
and so growing up, I never understood why my mother would say things to me like, "Oh, you look just like your father," in the tone she would say it in. And it was because I looked just like him, and she was literally reliving her trauma every day she saw me. And I was a trigger for her. And me being a trigger for my mother allowed me to feel unloved. I thought I was ugly, when I was always compared to a man, looking like a man, she said I smelled like him. Those triggers literally roll into your entire life. And so for a long time, I had no value. I had no self-esteem. I didn't believe in myself as much as I should have in different aspects of who I am to my essence, and knowing my value, knowing that I was a queen, even though I didn't feel it. And so the experience that I really want to talk about is I was molested as a child. I would wake up and people would touch me while I was sleeping. And so I would literally just sleep through it and pretended that I was still sleeping. And so when I became an adult, I was in college, and there was a guy that I was friends with, and I was so naive. I didn't understand barriers and boundaries that should be kept. And so I thought this person was my friend, and I didn't think that he would do anything to harm me. And so I allowed him to sleep in my dorm room. And then I woke up and he was on top of me. And when I told someone what happened, they blamed me because I allowed him to stay in my room. They blamed me because he was popular, and because he was popular, why would he want to do anything and take advantage of someone when he had other women throwing themselves at him? And so you don't realize the stigmas that you place on someone who is surviving these situations. And we need to talk about this, because the more we talk about it, the more we become free. The more we talk about it, the more we raise awareness. And as a result of my trauma and my experiences, I've literally have been able to help so many women across the world heal. I use Reiki energy healing, and it is so powerful. It's so many different types of healing that we can do for ourselves and our community when we take our power back. I work with inner child healing. Inner child healing is so powerful when you realize that little girl, that little boy inside of you is struggling, is crying out to be hugged, is crying out to feel that love that it didn't feel when it was a child. And I meditate now every day. And when I meditate, I take myself back and I hug that little girl, Aisya, and I give her love, and I give her the attention and the affection that she deserves and she desire. And so I'm so grateful to even be in this space here. Tona, you are so phenomenal. Thank you so much for putting
Y'all are phenomenal.
For us to be able to share our experiences. And so I do want to say to any person that says that didn't happen to you, you're lying, you are just as bad as the abuser. You know,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
You are enabling these people to continue to abuse other people. And you are telling these people that this didn't happen to them. You are victimizing them and you're shutting them down. And that's why so many people don't have the ability to speak their truths. I will no longer be silent. I will continue to roar and speak my truth, because I'm a survivor, not by chance. I fought to survive, and I will continue to survive. And so to each and every one of the survivors that are on here,
yes,
I honor you. I salute you. And I'm so grateful to be in this space with each and every one of you. Thank you so much for allowing me to share.
Oh, thank you.
Teska or Gabby, which one want to go? Go ahead, Tess. You want to? We'll let the baby go next to last.
Okay, so I'm Teska. I don't know if I'm the oldest one. I'll be 57 years this year. God keep me. And I am victorious. I am a warrior. I am more than my circumstance. I am not my circumstance. I was 4 years old when I was first victimized, and it went on for just over a year. The house I can see in my head, the um, room, everything I could tell you, and it's amazing because for years I blocked it all out, and I mean literally I could not tell you what was going on, what had gone on in that room, except I knew that it was not what was supposed to be going on. Um, it was interesting because my situation, there was me and two of my other siblings. My mother had four children, and it happened to three of her children. The guy took um, liberties to go from one child to the next child to the next child. And we knew him because he married his sister married into our family. So he was my uncle-in-law. And I will never say his name because I refuse to give him power over my life. So I call him he who shall remain nameless. I felt dirty. I felt like I had done something. For years, I would not wear anything that did not cover my butt. I always wore long shirts. I always wore, if I wore a skirt, I wore a jacket. I always made sure that I was covered up. It didn't matter. It wasn't until I married my husband that I learned to ease up a little bit, even still to this day. If I wear a shirt, I want a long shirt. I want to cover my tush, even though I know you can still see the contour. I still want to cover. I felt like as if I had done something to make him want me. And then I realized I was 4 years old. What could possibly be desirous about a 4-year-old? I felt invisible. I wanted to be invisible. For years, I wanted to not be seen, and especially by men. I never wanted people to. One of my biggest triggers was for someone to say, "Oh, she looks sexy." I hated the word "sexy" because the first part of it was sex, and I hated for anyone to say, "Oh, she looks sexy," and people couldn't understand why I was saying that. And I don't say that. You can say I look nice. You can even say I look pretty. I am not sexy. And folks like, what's with her? And they didn't get it. And I could, in a heartbeat, just start streaming tears. But it took me back to that place. I am not sexy. I don't want to be in a sexual relationship. That someone should not be able to take that part of my body, which I was always taught. Even then, I knew was supposed to be sacred. Why? Because when mommy washed me up, she covered up your chest. When mommy washed me up, okay, this is your private parts, and you cover that up real quick. My brother couldn't come in the bathroom with us when mommy washed me up. So I knew that it was something that should not have been touched, but someone was touching me, and I didn't have the voice to stop them. I will say that I give honor to my oldest sister, because my oldest sister, who was one of his other victims, one day grabbed my father and said to him, "Daddy, please don't leave." And he couldn't figure out why. And she finally said, "He's going to touch us again." And he finally listened. At first, he called her a foolish child and told her, "Get off me," because she grabbed his arm. And he said, "Get off me, you foolish girl." And my brother and I were sitting there. My sister was in the bed. The youngest one he didn't touch. But my two girls, oldest girls, and the boy, he touched. And I remember he said, "What do you mean he touches you?" And we said, "He touches us, Dad. He touches us and it hurts." And I realized, I saw in that moment when he got it. And the guy was just coming up the stairs right after my father got it. And I remember I cried because I was scared, because we weren't supposed to tell. And I remember feeling vindicated finally, but still scared because I didn't know if he was coming back. All I know is I didn't see him. And I remember for years, I felt like the ugliest little thing. No matter what mom said, no matter what anybody said, I figured they're saying that because they have to. I'm their child. Never felt beautiful. Always wanted to be invisible. Never wanted anybody. I never wanted to be left alone in a room with anybody, any, especially if it was a male. Didn't feel safe. And I was the person when they said I could get in a room with hundreds of people and I could find my way to becoming invisible. Church became my safe space. And I was that person who, when I say, they said God was your keeper, God was your protector, He's your healer. I took that literally. And I went to church every single day. If the church doors were open, I would find a church because I felt that if I'm in church, I'm under God's eye and He can't touch me. Nobody can touch me in there. So I became that child. And until college, I never had a voice. I was such an introvert. You could say anything to me, you could do anything to me. I'd sit there and I would just take it. It wasn't until I went to college and somebody tried to say that I was sexually active, and I knew I had kept my virginity as far as I was concerned until I went to college and someone tried to diminish my name. That's when I found my voice. And I realized I am not. I have my virginity, and I am proud of that. But I wasn't going to let another man victimize me, especially when one had already taken something that was supposed to be so sacred, especially to a little girl. How could you hurt a little girl? So I today stand with all of you, amazing, and I mean amazing, beautiful, powerful warriors. And I raise my voice with you and I commend you. I thank you because my objective with this, and when we did the first documentary, is so that every other child that has someone that's a predator that's in their household or is a predator that they get into their space, I want them to know, tell it, tell it until you can't tell it. And if that person doesn't listen, I want you to tell somebody else. You keep telling it until somebody listens to you, because somebody will. It might not be on the first go round, it might not be on the second go round. And don't let anybody tell you that you didn't experience what you experienced. Nobody can have your experience. No one. And I just say tell it. So I'm here to stand for the little girl in me that was silent for all those years. I'm here to stand for the little girls that are in Trenton, the little girls that are in New Jersey, the little girls that are in New York, every little girl, and the little boys too, whose voices and bodies have been taken. I'm here to stand for you and with you. And if you get to me, I promise you, I'll never call you a liar or tell you that you didn't do, no, it didn't happen to you. I will take you at your word and I'll do what I can, but I will help you roar and I will help you hear and let someone else hear your voice. And I thank you, Tona, once again. Love and appreciate you for this opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. The baby of the group, Gabby. She on call. That's voice out.
Hey y'all, my name is Gabby. First of all, I just want to say thank y'all for even sharing y'all stories, because it gives me the strength to not be afraid still to this day. Even though I have spoken about it in the documentary and to other girls, it just seemed like every time it's time to talk about it, it's always just something that you have to literally prepare for, because it would just put me in a really bad space. But my story is I was molested by someone very, very, very close to me. One morning I woke up. I remember going to bed with my sibling, and I woke up with a grown man in the bed with me. And the way how I was in the bed, I just felt like it was like I was being held by, like, in a more like a seductive way. And I also felt how hard the male's penis was. Being that the person was a prominent figure in my life, it was just kind of like, what the fuck? When I woke up, like, what the fuck is going on? And I just remember trying to get up and go. And it was, I was asked, where are you going? You know, and I was just like, to the bathroom. But like in my head, like, you're like, what? You know, it was just, I was out of it. So I remember going to the bathroom. I was really scared because, you know, waking up in that type of setting, it like I just never thought that would ever happen before. So I went to the bathroom. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know whether to scream. I didn't know what room my mom was in. And I just remember a knock came at the door and he asked me, was I coming back to bed? And I didn't know what else to say, but yes. But instead, I went downstairs to see if my mom was there. That was the first place I went, but she wasn't there because sometimes she used to sleep on the couch. So because I was scared and I didn't want to go back upstairs, I went in the kitchen, and eventually he came down. And as I was like over my kitchen sink, I just remember him groping me in my breast area, my vagina area, and my buttocks, just basically saying that this is all what men want from me. And it was just like I don't know, I was just very shaky. I want to also commend myself and give myself like some type of credit because I did roar. Yes. I did. I spoke up the moment that I saw my mom. And of course, you know, as a little girl, I remember I felt protected the day that I told, like slightly, because, you know, she was up in the uproar and I left the home. I went to school. I walked to school. I would never forget that day at walking to school. And a few days later, he came back. And I would say from the moment he came back, I kind of lived in torture. He manipulated everyone in my family to believe that I was just trying to be fast, that I was grown. I just wanted to go out and have sex with men. And I just remember times that I would cry out and like, he's lying. And like, he would, you know, shut me up because he had the power to do so. And my experience really, really tore me up in a hard way because I was such a vibrant kid. I was, you know, I was very smart. I just remember always being like that happy, bubbly, you know, girl, and all of that was taken from me. And I remember there was just a shift in everything, and I had to live with that person for a while. And even though it never happened again, there was still remarks that was like pretty much inappropriate remarks being said to me. Like one time I remember he came in and said, do you know what I'm about to do with this baby oil? And I'm like, no, like what the fuck? You know, and it just tore me apart. And I wasn't the only victim. It happened to other girls that was really close to me and him as well. And then there was also other victims as I grew older to learn that he may have just been like a serial one. But with my story, I could just say, like the others had said, just tell someone. Tell someone. And it's hard because in my situation, I told and nobody freaking believed me. Still, it's so bad that still to this day, they support the man. And it took me a lot to even come to find healing. I didn't really like get help for it until I was 19. And at that time I was homeless. I had a daughter. By that time I was just crazy. And I could just say that where I'm at right now, I'm just blessed that God was able to place some prominent people in my life to help me, because I know that a lot of times a lot of girls may not have that one person, and those people was able to help me. 2 people, Coach Mo, even Miss Tona, Miss Ruth Carter. There's just so many other women that I could just say that helped me. And you just got to tell somebody. And once you do, keep roaring. That's really all I could say. You have to keep roaring. Don't stop. And I know my family members might be seeing this. Yep, because y'all didn't believe me. Probably still don't to this day. Family that I've like loved to the death of me that still don't believe me, but I'd be putting up the middle finger and say I could protect me.
Keep roaring.
That's right.
Tell it.
Now.
That's right.
Roaring, and I'm gonna teach them there's no mores. I'm gonna make sure that I teach other young women safe touches. I'm gonna make sure that as a 26-year-old woman, I'm giving other women a chance to say something, and I'm being a voice too. You know, so just keep roaring. Tell somebody and seek help. Seek professional help, because it will take you a long way. And I'm thankful.
Yes.
You go. So
Thank
that's
you. Oh, y'all said so many things. I feel like I'm. Oof. So So let me just give statistics really fast. When I did the documentary, when I did the documentary, why we didn't tell the statistics, the statistics were saying 89% of children who are being victimized were victimized by somebody they love or trust really fast. That's why we don't tell kids we're going to kill somebody who victimizes them, because they still love the person. They just don't like what they've done. So now you're putting that child in a bad situation. Just remember that. Just tell them to tell you because you love them, and your job is to protect them. Don't ever say that you're going to kill that person, because 9 times out of 10 they're not going to tell you. That's one thing. When I did the research for the Enough documentary that'll be coming out hopefully in the fall, the numbers went up to 93% of the children who were victimized with people that they knew and they trusted. And I just need you to know, every Black and brown woman on here, we are not part of the statistic. We did not go to the to cops.com. They did not take, these are statistics based on facts, right? We were not a part of those statistics. I also had the privilege of writing everything. I've been doing this for a long time. Picture This. I did a presentation called Picture This, and what Picture This was about was educating and empowering women about keeping themselves in safe environments to the best of their abilities. Right? It's the same thing. If it looked like a predator, I'm saying if it walked like a predator, talk like a predator, act like a predator, we wouldn't have our children around them. It's the same thing with different men and women. If it looked like a rapist, if it talked like a rapist, it's an act like a rapist, you won't put yourself in that position. So obviously these predators are good what they do, right? And so when I was doing the presentation, Picture This, educating young college girls how to hopefully not be victimized in college, the percentage was I want to say 86% of people were being date raped. I need to say that again because y'all not getting it. We think that people who are being raped and who are being victimized are just kids getting pulled off the street or a stranger coming to get them. I'm not saying it's not wrong, it's not right, but the majority of the numbers, I just gave you the statistics. Women and men, especially women, but men get raped too. I don't want to minimize that, but most of the women who are getting raped, they're getting raped by people they also know and trust. And so even though we are talking about the panel of being young, being victimized versus older women, sexual assault month is sexual assault month. Anything, if you are being sexual harassed, if somebody has done something to you sexually that they have permission to do. And one thing that Gabby said, I'm gonna say this really fast. She said that he was saying things. When you talk about sexual abuse, I think people just think about, somebody touching a child. No, sexual abuse, and I need you to hear this. If they are showing that child porn, if they are saying sexual explicit stuff to that child, if they are doing anything sexually to or around or saying to a child under the age of 7 or 18, whatever that state law is, it's sexual abuse. Period. So y'all need to understand that they're like, oh, he didn't touch. Did he show that child porn? That's sexual abuse. So when you look at the statistics, it's real. People are being victimized by people that they know and that they trust. Again, if they look that way, if they talk that way, if they act that way, parents would have those kids around them, or we as individuals wouldn't allow those people in our lives. So with that, I did that to bring in the next to the last final guest. Tell your story, my queen.
Hello again, everyone. I am Coach Tosh, and thank you for that, Tonya. I'm so blessed to have heard every last one of y'all stories. And Aisya, I wish this was live because I want to hug the mess out of you, like seriously. And you'll know why in a moment. Like I want to hug you until that thing pop off your head, for real. But my story is like this. Like Tonya said, at first I was like, I text her, I said, honey, I gotta go last because I'm not identifying with everybody else. This did not happen to me. I grew up with the weirdest Black and brown home, right? I had a 2-parent home. That's not what most Black and brown homes look like, right? We grew up in the suburbs, right? They actually was married, and it was a good looking family. I did not have one of those experiences where, somebody touched me when I was young. I was an only child too, so I was spoiled to death. Daddy's girl, grew up, and then I had the nerve to be prissy and all that other good stuff. And I know one of the ladies said they didn't want to hear anything about being sexy. That was what I was striving for, honey. I was trying to be sexy. And then I had the nerve to join the United States Army. Did a whole 360. Something went cuckoo in my brain. And I joined the Army, and I think I was just searching for brother and sisterhood because, like I said, I was this only child, right? And I loved it. I served 18 years in the Army. I loved the Army. And I had all these brothers and all these sisters, but mainly brothers because I was always in combat infantry units because I was really good at what I did, which was shoot people. Okay. Let's be clear. I was really good at shooting things. So I was always with the guys, and I was always seen as one of the guys, right? So these were my brothers. They were always taking care of me. They were my family. So it kind of was like a family setting, right? And like Tonya said, this was somebody I knew. This was somebody I hung out with on a regular. We grew up together in the military. We were together. And one night we were not on a date, but we were hanging out after work. And the next thing I know, I was assaulted. And I was told it was my fault. But fast forward, I go back to work and I'm drinking a whole bunch of Robitussin because I think I got a cold. And I go to the clinic and they tell me, well, you do have a slight cold, but you need to stop taking that Robitussin because it's going to hurt the baby. And I said, what babe, what you talking about? Because I'm 29 years old and I've been told since I was a little child, because of other issues of birth defects, that I couldn't have children. So this one night, 29 years of life I've been living, chilling, never had any signs of ever being pregnant. My doctors have always told me I could never get pregnant. But this one time, and now I'm pregnant. And it's this person's baby. And I'm forced to carry this baby. And when I say forced to carry, I mean forced to carry. And it was a God-ordained forced to carry. Why? Because I made 3 appointments to Planned Parenthood trying to get rid of this baby. And every time there was an issue. The first time, literally, their machine broke. The second time, there was a picket line and I couldn't cross it. And the third time, they got shut down. And then by the time I went to go make another appointment, I was too far along and I couldn't get it done. So now I was forced to carry this child from this situation, and I was upset. And I did not connect with the pregnancy. I didn't, everybody else is over here molding their bellies and they doing gender reveals and all this other stuff. I shielded myself. I took a leave of absence from, work, everything. I did an actual, now by this time, when I was in the military, I had gotten saved. I was in the church. I was a leader in the church. So I, expressed my concerns to my pastors at that time. And let me be clear, this is not the church that I belong to now. But I got an arranged marriage, if you will, with the pastor's brother. And we got married. And how many of y'all know that when you haven't healed from one thing, you're going to subject yourself to more and more trauma? You're going to subject yourself to more and more trauma. So I didn't deal with that first thing. Because if you notice, I said that happened to me, but I never dealt with it. I didn't speak up. I didn't do anything about it. Then I found out that I was dealing with being pregnant from it, but I still didn't deal with it. Right. And now I'm forced to carry the baby. I'm still not dealing with it. I'm hiding it. I took a leave of absence from work and everything. And now I'm marrying somebody that I don't even know. Well, he married me so then I wouldn't have this bastard child. Know nothing about this man. So he's supposed to be in the church, but he's an undercover abuser. So as soon as I have this baby, I'm wondering why he looking at me cross-eyed until I say something a little slick out my mouth, because like I said, I did serve in the military, so I'm real sharp with my mouth, not just sharp with that gun. I am a little sharp with my mouth. So I did say something, and then the next thing I know, his fist connected with my jaw. But at least he, look, in my mind, I said, at least he waited until I wasn't pregnant anymore. And it kept going and it kept going because the cycle is perpetual. So I realized that once I had my child, it opened up my eyes, and God showed me that that child was going to save my life. No, I'm not a victim of what happened to me, because that child is not a result of what happened to me. It's a result of his grace on my life, because I was told I couldn't have any kids. But look what he gave me. He gave me a beautiful child. And guess what? He don't look like that man. He look like me. So that means he's a sexy something. And he looks like his grace. Okay. And guess what I can get and get away from this man that is doing something that God doesn't ordain him to do? I can get this thing called divorce. And me and my son can go on about our spiritual business. So I had to come to the realization that I had power in myself, that I was created in this thing called virtue. And it was all in his word. God set me down in this real long time period. It took me 7 years to get away from this man. It took a really long time. It took me a real 7 years to even speak out of my mouth and even say, hey, this happened to me and this is the result of my child. Even telling my child, hey, this is where you come from. That's not really your daddy, but now, guess what? That's his testimony. He can even stand and say, guess what? I know who I am. I know where I come from. My mom is amazing. My mom is still strong. He can even say, I'm happier that I know the truth about who I am. Why? Because I'm still created in God's image, and God's word says that he will be the father to the fatherless. I don't need to have somebody here looking crazy and beating my mom upside the head just to have a dad. So I got to take my power back and get to be who I was called and created to be. And guess what? It opened up the door for me to do more powerful things, like get a good man in my life, because I'm remarried, not looking crazy. And I took all the principles that God gave me. I put them in my first book. I've written multiple books, but I put it in my first book. My first book is called Breaking Free, because once I retired from the military, God said, what you're going to do now is you're going to take what I taught you and you're going to free somebody else, because I didn't do all this for you. I did all this so somebody else don't have to look like you, because there's other women that are sitting there that are going through things just like this. They went out on a date, like Tona said. They went out on a real bad date, or they're about to go out on a real bad date. They don't know that, guess what? That dude is paying way too much attention to you. Don't put your drink down. Don't do this. Don't stop paying attention. Don't do all these things. So I wrote this book. It's called Breaking Free, a biblical journey from trauma to triumph. And guess what? I wrote it so it's an actual workbook, and I wrote it as a blanket story where you can work it out, not just for sexual assault, but for everything. Because I believe it was somebody else on here too that said they've been through multiple traumas. I have too. Like I said, sexual assault, verbal abuse, physical abuse, 3 bouts with cancer. I was like, God, you ain't done yet. Like, come on, divorce, all these different things. So the workbook can be used for all these different things. And I promise you, I've seen so many different people walk through this thing. And another thing, I heard another woman say this, you need to get yourself a coach. You need to get yourself help when you're trying to, you can't do this on your own strength. You can't say, I'm just going to do, no, you can't sit here and just, because in your mind, what you'll start to think is, I'm the only one. It's only, nobody else has ever felt that. And guess what? Ain't nothing new under the sun. The same thing that you felt, the same thing we probably felt, and we probably just felt it in a different color, a different shade of turquoise or something like that. You are not alone. We just did it in a different year. Like one of the girls is 24. Like that's why some of us is a little more seasoned and our hips is a little bit thicker. That's it. That's the only reason why we're here for you. That's the beauty of the sisterhood. That's the beauty of the roar. Some of us have a different complexion with it. And that's why I love having different the different women on here, because all you have to look at it like is, the hair lengths. You only have to, that's the only difference of it. Some of us got braids, some of us have it natural, some of us want to fry dye lay to the side. Just look at it like that. It's only in that manner. So take the wisdom out of it and then apply it to your situation, but you can't do it in your own strength. Get yourself a coach. I'm a certified trauma counselor. This is what I eat, breathe, like Tonya said, this is what I eat, breathe, live, and I counsel on nothing but trauma. This is what you need. And the last thing I'm going to say before I stop talking is I host a women's retreat every year, and it's coming up. It is actually amazing. What I do is I take women into the lap of luxury, because one thing that you don't want to do when you're talking about trauma is be sitting somewhere busted and disgusted, because your stuff is already busted and disgusted. So you need to be sitting somewhere beautiful. So we go into the lap of luxury. We have private chefs. We sit in jacuzzis and all that other good stuff. You take yourself into somewhere beautiful. This year we're going into the mountains of Tennessee. We're going to sit under the stars. We're going to get and commune with the heavens. And we are going to get into those places, deal with that little girl that you have been that you need to deal with. We're going to deal with the trauma that you need to deal with. It's called the changing room. We do it every year. And it is amazing. Women from all over the nation, we come together and we deal with our stuff. It's very limited room because, as COVID has happened, Coach Tosh don't play them games with the germs. I just don't do it. So, we have limited space. Women come together. We deal with our stuff and we leave it there, because the model of the changing room is you come in one way, but you will never leave the same. You come out changed. This year's theme is forever change. So the theme is you're coming out and you're never going to recognize that old you again. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited for every person that is on here. Thank you all. And I hope I meet you one day, Aisya, so you can meet my son and he can give you a big, big hug. All right. Thank you again.
Thank you, ladies. So because of time, I am going to wrap this up. I don't want to say everybody knows my story, because everybody does not know my story. So it's a horrible story. I'm just going to give you a little short version. Again, it's in that second, and it's also in a documentary, Why We Didn't Tell. I started being sexually abused when I was 3 years old by somebody I loved and I trust. I knew what a penis felt like, what a real kiss felt like, what somebody's hands being in my vagina felt like before I was 4. By the time I was 5, almost 6, I was looking at porn, learning what people do to make them happy. That's what I was told. I think the difficult part for me to heal was to understand sex had nothing to do with love, because every time I would get victimized, I was always told how much I was loved and how much I was always such a good girl. Please stop telling your kids they're good kids based on what they're doing for you. Please. Please. They're just good because they're good, not because they have to do a certain act to prove themselves to be good. But anyway, by the time I was 7, I was giving myself all my own orgasms. I was sticking things in my vagina and penetrating myself because that had been done to me for so long. I didn't know what it was, to be honest. I just knew that I was relieving some type of pressure until I got old enough to realize exactly what I was taught as a kid to do. I ended up being a teenage mother in a domestic violence relationship. Um, I made so many horrible choices. One of the things I just want to say, I was doing an interview a while back, and this guy said to me, Tona, what would you tell your younger version? And he was like, I know you have to think about it. I was like, no, I don't have to think about it. I would have told the young Tona, thank you for not taking my life. I need somebody to hear this. It's not that I wanted to die. I just didn't want to live in a situation that I was in. So when I celebrate the whole month of April or the whole year like I did last year, it's a reason why I do that, because I know how many times as a kid and what hopelessness feels like. Feel like you can never get out of it. I didn't know what the word depression meant. I've learned that word very well. I had no means to unknow what post-traumatic stress disorder was. That's my friend. You understand what I'm saying? So just being victimized at such a young age and being introduced to sex wrong, that's what people don't understand. The neighborhood that I live in, 99% of the women I'm talking to who are selling their bodies, they all were victimized. Somebody took their lives. Somebody changed the course of their life that second they touched them, and they never was able to rebound back. So I'm not going to tell my whole story. It's real. Just look it up, because like I said, I've been telling my story for 20 years and met thousands of Me Too, and I'm honored to have these Me Too's, these warriors come on one platform again that has not been done for brown and black women, to come together, to war together, to speak together, to say enough that we're not going to have allow this to happen anymore. Why is April so important now to me and to all of us that's just told our stories? Because that's the one month that we get to unite together to make a difference. It's the one month that we get to join together around the world to say enough is enough, and that it happened to me, but I took my life back. And some of us are still taking our life back, and not for nothing. When you've been victimized sexually, I believe, and this is just my view, I'm gonna take my life back to the day I don't have any breath, meaning that healing takes places on so many different levels. That's why you can't judge a book by its cover. I tell women all the time, some of y'all couldn't walk in my shoes for 1 second, but yet y'all try to worry about how I wear my hair, how I dress, and you don't need to. Please, I promise you, there are so many people in this world that y'all are looking at their outsides and you have no clue how they're feeling in the inside, because we've learned how to wear a mask for so long. I've been wearing a mask since I was 3 years old. I could be a professional mask maker, right? Over the years, I've learned to heal, but trauma is trauma, because trauma triggers goes hand in hand with the trauma. So there are times that I would have a trigger, and the trauma is still there. So what I do like to say to individuals when I have this platform is that healing is a process. We may heal from one area and not the other area. And it's funny that Aisya said this, something that I live by. When I start making choices, because now I know myself better, because I'm older and wiser, I always say, the little girl in me, I talk to her a lot. I'm like, what's not healed in you that you're still attracting this type of man, right? What's not healed in me that I'm still feeling a certain type of way, or this trigger is still having a hold on me. I need to go back to her to let her know that she's safe, that she's secure, and that I can protect her now, because I can now war and I can tell my story and I can bring thousands of women. That's gonna be my goal. I promise you, this one day, this platform is going to be so huge with black and brown women telling them we just the beginning. We're just the start, ladies, and I appreciate you for coming on this platform to war with me. I promise you, with every being in my body, everything in my every being is in my body, I am so honored to have y'all on here because I don't think I gave a lot of y'all options. And I promise you, with a lot of things that's coming up when it's about sexual assault, I won't, because of the fact that we need this platform. We need people to hear our stories, people to understand that being victimized is not who we are. It's not defining us. It's just our stories. It's what we experience. Mm-hmm. But if you want to tell my story, tell my story. I'm a warrior. That's what I want you to tell. That's my story. My story, right? That's my story. That's our story. And I got it on my thing. We turned out to our passion into our purpose. Every one of you have turned this into a purpose, either a platform like mine or just sharing your story. Because I believe that again, I said at the beginning, when one war, that line shut down miles. When millions and thousands and girls, just 9 of us were, I promise you we can change somebody's life. I promise we touch somebody. I promise you that a Me Too has hurt us. I promise you that someone who feels like they are voiceless right now know that they're not by themselves and they got a voice. I promise you that little kid that's in that adult right now is going to start healing because they've heard us tell our story. This is important. This is not an easy platform. We don't got nothing better to do than tell our stories. That's been real. I think people think that this is an easy platform. This is one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life. To introduce myself. Hello, my name is Tona. I'm a sexual abuse survivor and an advocate. That thing still don't sit well with me, but that's my purpose. This is our purpose to share. The only way we're going to change this is by talking about it and having dialogues about it, not being embarrassed about it, not being ashamed about it, and not being a taboo that we can't say sex. In my book, I said penis, vagina, and anus. And my editor, who I love, mentioned, she was like, "You're going to use those terms?" Yes. Those are the right terms about body parts. Mm-hmm. We need to use right terms. We need to learn how to communicate. We need to learn how to listen to not only children, but to men and women who are being assaulted and trust them. I have on the documentary, why we didn't tell, I live by this saying. I live by this saying. I'm going to die by this saying. Sexual assault and sexual abuse is the only crime that you're guilty until proven innocent. I'm going to say that one more time, and I'm going to leave, we're going to go. Sexual assault or sexual abuse is the only crime that you are guilty until proven innocent. Period. We don't need to sit there and victimize the child. I said it in my book. If that child comes to you and they say that they've been victimized, your job is not to be like, who, uncle, so that's not your business. It's a crime. Your job is to call 911 and say, my niece, my student, the kid in the church, the kid on my basketball team said this happened to them. I don't need to get the whole family involved because it's a crime. It's not your job to investigate. It's the police job to investigate. When you are assaulted, your job, if somebody comes to tell me they've been assaulted, I don't need to give a rundown and try to make them beat up. That's not my business. We need to go to the hospital. We need to call the cops. We need to make sure that that it's documented, and because they're going to many people are going to be victimized over anyway. So if somebody touches you enough, be that safe person in that person's life that they feel that they can come and tell you, and that if you don't do anything else, which is the greatest thing you can do, is reach out and get the right help for them. We are not here to We are not here to keep asking questions and victimizing the victim again. And women and men, especially women, I don't care what you wear. I don't care where you party at. I don't care who you have at your house. I don't care who you're invited. I don't care the situation you put yourself in. No means no. Mm-hmm. No, point blank. And if you did not have the power right then to say no, but you knew that you did not consent to that, and you know that they took advantage of you sexually, you have the right to tell. This is what I want us to do in April when we war. We want to give you the voice to tell. We want to empower every child, every adult, every man or woman, I don't care what color you are, to know that you did nothing wrong and that it's okay to have the power. We want to give you the power like you've never known you had. And guess what's going to happen sometimes? Somebody ain't going to believe you, but that's okay because your truth is your truth. Teska Frisby taught me that on my documentary. Your truth is your truth. Everybody ain't got to believe your truth. You just got to believe your truth. Is somebody going to listen? Be that safe person that when somebody come and tell, listen. I thank y'all again. I honor y'all for being the warriors that you all are. I give all y'all a round of applause.
Tonya,
Yes.
can I just say one more thing? Just to
Yes.
piggyback off of what you were saying, I'm also a chaplain for 2 local police departments, and I'm a DVRT representative. That's domestic violence response team rep. There is no statute of limitations on reporting a sexual assault. And there is a hotline. You can Google it wherever you are in your county for DVRT or for the sexual abuse hotline for wherever. There's a local number for you in your county. If whoever hears this, that's out there, whoever is streaming and hearing this, but you can tell if somebody, the first person that hears you that doesn't hear you, like your family, call that number. You can call directly. I don't care if you're 10 years old, 5 years old, it doesn't matter. You can call the DVRT, a hotline. And it doesn't matter if it happened to you 5 years ago. If you're a grown woman and you want to report it now, I know most of us have said we don't say their name. I know, honey, if I could, for legal reasons, I say
the name all the time.
No, for legal reasons, I can't. But honey, if I could, I would shout it from the rooftops. Why? Because I want people to know who that person is. Because I want other people, when they be like, I heard your name before. Because I want you to know what type of person that person is. But you can shout that person's name out and you can get their name in the paper so that other people will find out what kind of person they are. But yes, you can put that out there so you can tell people. And guess what? They have, whenever you make a claim like that, they have to investigate it. It's the law.
It's the
so
law.
Just because if you told your mama ain't got to investigate it, but when you tell the sexual assault hotline, they have to. When you tell DIFUS, they have to. When you tell the cops, they have to, because it's the law.
It's a law.
Put it out there. Tell somebody.
Please,
it's your right. You can do that. And let me say that again. There is no statute of limitations on rape. I don't care if it happened 10, 15 years ago. There is no statute of limitations on rape. And like she said, they are guilty until proven
innocent. That's true. Thank you so much. Thank you all again. So what I'm going to do, obviously I'm going to share this with all of your pages. If you want to put something in the comments, like the numbers or whatever, please, by all means necessary, do. Again, I thank y'all. I want to give a shout out to my new I'm claiming it, my newly soon to be elected Westward City Councilwoman Teska Frisby, for not only wanting to change Trenton, New Jersey, but change the world. God is putting her on a platform that's going to touch so many politicians and be able to change so many laws just from coming out of Trenton, Warren with us. I see it, I believe it, and I know it. So I thank her. I thank all of you. I thank everybody who has events coming up. If you want to come individually on Tona's table, my platform is always open to shine a light on you, because my warriors do some great things. You talk about some strong girl. If you can war, you will run the world. Listen to me. Like, it's no stopping us. Once we get a voice, we don't shut down, sit back, or shut up for nothing. That war is so powerful, it's so contagious that it just keeps spreading like wildfire. And so we're going to war, and we're going to war, and we're going to war until we shut this mess down. Thank you, ladies, for being with me. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Do your part and spread the word. Share this video. We're going to have things that we need your help with. We need you to help shut it down. Good night, everybody. Thank you, my queen.
Good night, everybody.
Amazing warriors.
Warriors, thank y'all.
See y'all
Welcome.
My toes are painted turquoise, for the record.
Oh, mine is too, but my feet ain't that cute.
Like, I can't put my toes up, but they're painted turquoise.
Mine are too. Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
Thank you, ladies. Love y'all.
Good night.
Bye bye. Good night.
Good night.